Hello, I'm Laura. It's December 6th, 2025, and these are the Saturday Heartlines. The Saturday Heartlines are a time of reflecting on the theme and topics of the past week to see what message comes out of them for us today. And the theme for this past week was hope and faith. It is the first of the Advent themes of this month, hence the candle lit behind me. But even though Advent is a Christian holiday, it holds universal messages of hope and faith, of peace and love and joy and new beginnings. So stay tuned further in this month for those messages. But for now, we are going to start with our message for today, which is our faith, started, ignited by our hope, can move mountains. And that's found in the message from the Unity booklet with Love at Christmas by Reverend Rick Schumacher, another friend of mine. And in it, Reverend Rick says, "How good it is to know that we have instant access to the power that is faith, and that just a little bit of faith can make what seems impossible possible." And he aligns with the message of the Master Teacher Jesus when he said, if you have just a little bit of faith, the size of a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move, and it will move. So let's look at some of those mountains and how we move them through our hope and faith. Starting with Sunday, when we light the light of hope and faith. We light the light of hope in a future vision that is bright and wonderful in a hopeful future. And we light the light of faith in us, in our strength and ability to move toward that vision. On Monday, we looked at hope and faith navigating us through the storms of life. As a cold winter storm was making its way across the United States, we know we are sheltered by hope and faith, because when we have hope in our future and faith in our current abilities, we make it to the shelter of love. On Tuesday, we looked at the uncertainty that is caused by the storms of life and by other things in life as we look at a world where boats are being fired upon in the Southern Caribbean, and immigrants are being held without due process, and files are being withheld that can reveal helpful information for our society. When we look at all of this, we can tend to feel discouraged. But that's really when we need to go deep and find that indelible faith and the hope that calls it forth in us. On Wednesday, we found hope in the message of Pope Leo to the people of Lebanon as he encouraged peaceful talks and peaceful relations in lieu of violence. And we also looked at the great faith in our fellow human beings that helps us find our way to speaking words of hope and taking actions of faith, which brings us to Thursday, making faith real through hopeful words and positive actions. And we looked at how many hungry people we have in our world, not just hungering for things to work out right, but literally hungering for nutritious food. Either war or natural disasters have left many people devastated. And with a hope to feed all who are hungry, we can contribute to the organizations that do this, or make a difference in our own communities by donating food and time where it is needed. On Friday, we looked at hope for a world of equanimity and justice and respect for all, and faith in the value of every human being. Because the reason we hope for such a world is because we know every human being is valuable. And how we can maintain that hope and faith, even when we see our brothers and sisters being mistreated throughout the world. We can do whatever we can to make a difference, again, with those small contributions or larger contributions, if we are led to do so, and our prayers, and just our words of respect and equanimity can make a difference. That brings us to today. And today, with that message of moving mountains through our hope and faith, we are going to stir up those qualities within us in a moment of silent contemplation. So let's take a deep breath and close our eyes and focus on this divine idea. I am moving mountains with hope for the good that is possible and faith for the good that is present in everyone and every situation. I am moving mountains with hope for the good that is possible and faith for the good that is present in everyone and every situation. And so it is. So in our visions, in our hope for what is possible in the future, what do we do when we encounter literal mountains of obstacles that are in the way of what we see is possible? We use our faith to keep on keeping on. You know, I have moved many mountains. When I'm on road trips and going over mountains, I move them from being in front of me to being behind me. This is what faith does. It keeps us going until we move over those mountains and into a beautiful valley of the world we want to see. May your mountains of obstacles move as you keep on keeping on in wonderful hope and fabulous faith. Have a wonderful day.